guys, it's Kimberly here. If you have been around my channel or my Instagram for a while, you know that I have something called Congenital Heart Defect, or also known as CHD. I was born with a Tricuspid Atresia, which basically means that the right part of my heart did not form. The tricuspid valve did not form at all. It's not there. My parents found out about my heart condition when they went in to find out if I was going to be a boy or a girl. And so they go in all happy, it's going to be a great appointment, and come to find out things were not as they seemed. My mom said that the nurse who was doing the ultrasound, she was like, well, is it a boy or a girl? And the nurse went down and she said, it's a girl, and came back, and she kept going to this one spot, and they were like, well, does she have all her fingers and toes? And she would go, yeah, all the fingers, all the toes, and go back to the one spot. And my mom finally was like, what is going on? Like, why do you keep going back to that one specific spot? And the nurse said, you know what? Let me go get the doctor. I'll be right back. The doctor came in and he basically looked at my parents when he saw what was going on. He looked at them and said, are you a Christian? And my parents were like, yes, we're Christians. And the guy said, well, you may want to go see another doctor, because basically the doctor was just like, she's not gonna have a good life, she's not gonna live very long, so you might as well abort the baby. And we were not about that, so we went to another doctor who said, yeah, we can fix this right up. I mean, obviously it's not a fix, there's no cure for CHD at all, but with surgeries and refiguring the heart and where things need to go, you can still live a good life for most people. And so I was actually born a month early, and my very first surgery was when I was about 3 weeks old, and I wasn't even like supposed to be born at the time, but I had a surgery, so you know. Coming into the world with a bang, that's for sure. I was almost born in the car. Fun fact, my dad completely missed the exit to the hospital, and my mom was like, I'm going to kill you. Find the hospital. Like, they had put it off so long, and my mom was so relaxed that I was just like, here I come. So let's just say the next day the doctor was like, so were you gonna call me when you went into labor and came to the hospital? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. My first surgery was when I was 3 weeks old, and I stayed at the hospital for about 9 days and got to come home on Christmas Eve. So I was a Christmas miracle. And we got to surprise everybody on my mom's side of the family in Birmingham. We just showed up with me, and there's actually like video footage of me laying on the couch, and they have stacked bows on top of my body, and you hear my mom in the background. You know, it's a really good way to see if she's breathing. Like, thanks, Mom. So my second surgery was actually an emergency surgery. I come home on an apnea monitor after my last surgery, and which, if you don't know what an apnea monitor is, it basically is like a band around here, and it lets you know if the baby is breathing or not, and it will go off if I quit breathing. And so my mom said that it continued and continued to go off during the night, and she said at one point she was so tired and it kept going off, and she reached over and she started shaking me, and then she realized that I was rattling. She was like, this is odd. You know, she never used to rattle. She was shaking the phone. So, when she realized that it was not me, she then shook me, and I started breathing, and all was well with the world at that moment. But finally, she called the doctor and she said, can I just bring her in? Like, something's not right. I was supposed to have like a heart cath Monday before the surgery, but that didn't happen. Basically what was happening, when you were born with a hole in your heart called the patent ductus, and that's where all like the blood flow and everything goes through, okay? That's how you stay alive in the womb. And when you are born, a few weeks later, it closes on its own, everything's fine. It's no big deal to a normal person. It's no big deal. However, that was the only way I was getting the correct blood flow and oxygen flow into my body and heart. So when it started closing up, there was no oxygen flow, no blood flow, there was nothing. Which is why I would quit breathing. They ended up having emergency surgery. They fixed all of that. So when I was about 1, I had the Glenn shunt. Basically, the Glenn shunt helped more blood flow to the lungs, and without increasing the flow to the heart, which is always important. Because basically how your normal heart works, your heart is about the size of your fist, a little bit bigger than your fist. And you have 2 pumps in your heart. And it pumps, and all that blood goes to the lungs. And it pumps, and all that blood goes to the body, okay? And it goes doom, 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 right? So like when you run, when you exercise, that blood is constantly moving. It's constantly going, which you're tired, but it's like, it's okay. That's why your heart rate speeds up. Well, for me, since I'm missing the whole right ventricle of my heart, it's not there, I have 1 pump, okay? I have this super duper energized 1 pump. And so what it does, it just pumps and all the blood goes to the body, and then it pumps and all the blood goes to the lungs. There is not a simultaneously pumping mechanism operation thing going on in my heart. And so as I grew up, I was not able to play sports. I didn't do soccer. They were like, you can't do running, like, you know, all of this stuff. Now I did participate in PE for the most part. I was not one to let it slow me down at all. Like if they were like, you need to sit down on that, I'm like, I can do that, whatever. My last 2 major surgeries were the Fontan procedure, which was like revolutionary at the time. This is what they were gonna do to kind of reroute the blood, okay, to like the pulmonaries. They did the surgery once, everything was fine, and then I started turning blue again. So we're like, let's redo it. They did this whole Fontan surgery, and it was super duper great. And then we went to Disneyland, and that was super super awesome, and began the love of roller coasters. The doctor did not say I can go on them, so my mom was like, hop on, let's go. We live dangerously in my house. But then I started kindergarten, and everyone knows that when you start kindergarten, it's just so duper fun. My mom, like right before we started school, my mom actually worked at the school, so it kind of worked out perfectly. But she was like, hi, I need to speak with you about Kimberly. If you could just have a seat. Teacher's like, no, I'm fine, I can stand up. Okay, so Kimberly just had open heart surgery. The teacher was like, let's sit down, okay? Let's just sit down. And basically she was like, she can't get hit in the chest. You know, no rough playing for a little while. She's got to heal good. I'm like, I have traumatized that teacher, which is the story of my life. That's another story for another day. But when I started kindergarten, I was used to obviously being at home, and everyone knew that I had heart surgeries. No big deal. I didn't even think about my scars. They were just natural. But kids at school were like, what is that down your chest? Why do you have this scar here? And I just remember being so self-conscious and just being like, oh, I'm different. It never occurred to me at 5 years old that I would be different. And so my mother, being Superwoman, she got like this big board, and it had my heart on it, and basically we would take a marker and we would like write out what I didn't have. and we showed a video of me in the hospital so it wouldn't be scary for the kids. You know, this is Kimberly like coloring, and this is Kimberly in recovery, and she's fine. And we had water, and we would take and put like blue food coloring in one and red food coloring in the other, and then we would mix them. And we'd be like, this is what happens to Kimberly's blood. It mixes in her body. And for people who know me really well, when I get cold, all right, eat something cold or drink something cold, my lips turn purple. It's great, especially after you go swimming and the people look at you and go, are you okay? Or like when you drink an icy and your mom goes, what is your oxygen level? We did this demonstration in every single kindergarten class. And it was really cool because I grew up with all those kids, and so they all knew that I had heart surgeries. And after that, it was just like, oh, this is Kimberly. Okay, no biggie. But I really just kind of forgot that I had the surgeries half the time, because people would be like, oh, we have the same scar. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, see? And they put on their shirts to show me their scar, and I'm like, oh, we do! We do! It's so cool! I forget. You know, it's been there since basically I was 3 weeks old. I don't think about my scars. I'm very proud of my scars. And I think that's something I have grown up with. I don't think of my scars as like weird or foreign. They are a complete part of me. And my heart is a part of me. Like, it's my heart. It's my beautiful, wonderful, broken heart. And I can't ever imagine like letting it go. I mean, these 29 years have been an absolute journey, but an absolute blessing. And honestly, I'm proud of my scars. You know, having CHD since literally the day I was born, before I was born, I don't know any different. Like, I don't know any different. I don't know what it's like to run up a hill and not be short of breath. And having the doctors put in my life, and my parents are like the unsung heroes of the whole thing, guys. And, you know, them staying overnight with me, and my mom bathing me after surgeries, and me making me walk, like, they truly, truly, truly got me through so much. God truly blessed me with some great parents. And even my big brother, I mean, he would come up to the hospital and he would read to me all the time. And, you know, that meant a lot to me. And yes, now I'm obviously on oxygen because of my heart defect. It just randomly dropped one day. And, you know, I just showed up at work on oxygen, and everybody was like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong with you? Oh, the oxygen. Yeah, that's probably weird. And this is due to the pressures in my heart are higher than the pressures in my lung. And so all that deoxygenated blood bypasses my lungs and goes straight to my heart. So my body's just not getting enough oxygen in it. And, you know, some days are better than others, but I just wear it all the time, and I'm just so used to it. I don't think anything about it. Like, I work part-time jobs with this thing, and you just make it work. But I am thankful every day that God allowed me to carry my little Tricuspid Atresia heart. I'm truly blessed to have it, and blessed to be able to be as healthy as I am, because with CHD, with all the issues that come along with it, you can't take every day for granted. You never know when all of a sudden your health's gonna go crazy. I wanted to this video to just lay it all out there, kind of tell you my story a little bit more in depth than I could do on an Instagram post. And I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you've learned hopefully a little something. And just thank you for tuning in and for watching this video, because I know it's probably long and I apologize for that. But thank you for listening to my story and for being a part of my everyday journey. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, you're totally welcome to. The link is below, and I would love to see you there. And there's other videos around here somewhere that you can definitely check out. So thank you guys so much for watching, And if you have any other questions or any other videos you would like me to do, just comment below. And thank you again.